It's Mental Health Awareness Week here at SGTV, and we're joined once again in the studio by Lucas from Andy's Man Club, and today's subject is positive thinking. Lucas, again, similar to the last one, I think positive thinking, whenever we talk about this kind of thing, it can seem a bit soft, a bit airy-fairy, but these are the stigmas we want to break down and get past that and actually try and help people. So what does it mean to you when we talk about the subject of positive thinking?
It can mean a number of things, to be fair. I think obviously optimism is a big thing, trying to look forward. I think, when you've had a lot of adversity in your life and when you've had a lot of stuff go wrong, I think it can be difficult to think positively, which is completely fair. I think, I look back to some of the most recent stuff I've been through, and, we've all been in that stage of life where whether it's a bad day or a bad week and you're thinking you've had 3, 4, 5 things go wrong, like you're thinking, when will it end? Like, it's about, positive thinking is all about learning to, I think, control the controllables, accept what you can't control, and then try and be actually optimistic about things. I think, it's strange because I think as a society, I think that we are quite negative and we're quite cynical at times. Like, I think it's, we've been here today for obviously a little while now off camera with a little laugh and joke with each other, and we've probably both been like quite self-deprecating at times, because that's a big thing. I think especially in Britain, like that whole culture of self-deprecating humour, it can actually have a really negative effect, and it can lead to you thinking negatively. If you go in and you self-deprecate and you do that constantly, then ultimately some of that stuff's going to stick with you. And I think that that ties into positive thinking, learning to be positive about yourself.
Yeah,
really.
You're right. It's almost trying to be, I wouldn't say hard on yourself, but trying to rewire your thinking to be like, oh, I can't do that. I'm not good enough for that. It's no, stop that.
Yeah.
What can I do to do that? How can I do that? How can I be better? And it takes failure. It takes time, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Like you say, I think it is. You are right. I think people do put each other down on a jokey way. They don't mean anything by it. But that doesn't mean it's not going to have a negative effect on someone. Enough people call you a name because it's a characteristic you've got or something. Eventually, it's going to get to you at some point.
Yeah, it sticks. And I think again, it's something I explored in therapy. Like I'm a bugger for it. I self-deprecate all the time. Like I'm always talking about how I've got a massive head and I'm a big guy. You know what I mean? Like. But eventually it sticks, and it sticks with you, and you can develop a bit of a complex and a bit of an insecurity. And I think that that's projection. That's us projecting some of those insecurities, to try and fit in and to try and be accepted by people. But I think the thing is with positive thinking, I think that we've all probably been around people who are overwhelmingly positive, where you think you actually can't abide it and you can't stick it, and you're thinking like, wish this guy'd shut up, but positive thinking, I don't think it's about, laughing and joking and running and skipping everywhere. It's just about having a positive attitude and thinking, I'm going to deal with everything that's thrown at me today. I'm going to, be the best version that I can of myself. If things go wrong, I'm going to learn from it. I'm going to take the experience and I'm going to move forward. And I think that's where people get sort of tripped up. They think, they take it too literally, the positive thinking side of things.
Yeah. I think what you said about almost letting things get to you as well. I had that thing, where they say, bad things happen in threes. I'd go looking for that.
Yeah.
I'd say something would happen in the morning, you'd get cut up or you'd have an argument at home or something. I'd be like, well, that's one. And then you're almost looking for 2 things. And before you know it, you've found them and you've ruined your day.
Yeah.
And I have to stop myself. And for me, I found sort of taking stock of the good things has helped. I'll almost, even if I spend half an hour of an evening, sometimes just turn the telly off and actually sit back and think, okay, name a few good things that have happened this week, or even down to materialistic things, something that I may have in my possession that's made me feel good, I've got that watch that I spent time and money on, or, me and the family, we had that really nice day out. I think that kind of rewiring of, like you say, the positive things and not doing the negative side. It takes time and work, but it's for the better.
I think we're too caught up in tomorrow as opposed to, you know, what's happening in the present a lot of the time. Like, I think everybody's always looking forward for, you know, what's going to go wrong next, or they're thinking about, you know, things that are happening, whether it's a couple of hours or, you know, a few days down the line. But what you mentioned there, taking stock, reflecting and thinking, you know, hang on a minute, like, you know, I might have just have had the day from hell or a stressful day or whatever, but this is what I have got going for me. It's a really positive tool. A lot of people practice journaling. I've done it before, like, you know, it worked for me for a little while. But actually writing down some of the positive things you've got going in life makes you sort of realise that, you know, things maybe aren't that bad. The thing is, though, there is a fine line to tread, because what I would always say to people, and, you know, something I used to believe in, was that, you know, people can, when they're going through things, they can think, oh, well, there's always somebody worse off than me. Like, that doesn't help, because ultimately whatever you're going through is the most significant and important thing to you at that time. And you've got to, you know, address that, and thinking that there might be somebody, you know, who doesn't have a home and you've got a home, or there might be somebody who's terminally ill and you're perfectly healthy. Like, it just detracts from whatever you're going through. So acknowledge what you're going through, but also acknowledge what you've got going for you as well, is what I'd say.
Yeah. And try not to compare, I suppose, even for the positives. I mean, you can draw inspiration from other people. If someone's done a successful number in the gym, or sales figures, or whatever it is, you know, you can draw inspiration. But what's the saying, that comparison is the thief of joy, and that can also have a negative effect, can't it?
Of course it can, and, you know, it's a bit of a buzzword to mention social media, but we live in this world where everyone's on social media. You're looking at your friends, you're looking at people you maybe went to school with, or people who, you know, you used to work with, and you're looking at on social media at these amazing, perfect lives that they've got, and you're not seeing that, you know, ultimately they go to the toilet like everyone else, don't they? You know, they do all the nitty gritty of life. They do all these, you know, they're not as glamorous as they appear to be on that facade, you know, on social media. And that comparison that we make is a really dangerous thing. I find myself doing it all the time. You know, look at people who I didn't like, who I went to school with, and I think, you know, look at that, they're on holiday in Mauritius or whatever, and I think, you know, I'm comparing, but I don't know about the argument that they might have had at the airport before they've gone, or, you know, the debt that they might be in, or whatever. You know, nobody thinks about that. Everyone just sees that face value thing, which is exactly, you know, it's why you're right. Comparison is the thief of joy.
You do you.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Yeah.
What about goal setting? Do you think there's some help in that?
Yeah, but I think making it realistic and realising where you're at in life. I think as a charity, we've launched something this year called Mission Possible, which is where we're challenging people to find their possible. You know, our founder, ex-professional rugby league player, his mission possible is to do 5 Ironman challenges. Whereas for some people, it'll be to get out of bed in the morning, to go out and socialise.
That's an important message you just said there. That goals they don't have to be do 5 Ironmans, buy a Lamborghini. It can be as simple as getting out of bed. People with real debilitating depression, getting out of bed can be the biggest part of their day, the biggest challenge of their day. And like you say, put them goals, make them realistic.
That's it. You know, everyone, like, it's a bit of a business buzzword, but everyone probably knows what a SMART target is. Like, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time, I think, is the final one, isn't it? But there is an actual, you know, the most significant part of a target is making sure it's realistic, and, you know, making it, don't have to be related to money, don't have to be related to business, it can be related to those simple things in life. You know, if your goal is to have a stronger relationship with your kids, or whatever it is, to get back into something that you used to enjoy, you know, that's as important as anything else.
Lucas, again, I want to thank you for coming on our show and talking about these things.
Pleasure.
And about all things Andy's Man Club. We have got a series of episodes where we've gone into different subjects about mental health, so once to keep your eye out. If anyone out there wants to reach out and go to an Andy's Man Club session, where can they find you?
You can head to the link in the description of this video to find out more, but other than that, if you want to follow us on social media, we're across Facebook, Instagram, X, LinkedIn, TikTok. Our website is www.andysmanclub.co.uk. And like we say, if you want to go to a session, you can find a full list of our sessions on our website, and just turn up on a Monday night. As long as you're a man over the age of 18, that's all you need to do. Just turn up.
Thank you. We'll see you in the next one.